Welcome to another edition of the Joy Fantasy Football Show. And before we start with today's show, we would like to express our deepest condolence for all the families who are affected by the Leicester City helicopter crash. We are with you in these tough moments. And to Vishai, we thank you very much for turning a fairy tale into a reality when Leicester City won the Premier League in 2016. May your soul rest in peace. Now on today's show, we would be looking at the standout players who have taken the Premier League by storm this season. And we would take a quick assessment at each of these players and what they bring to the table. And of course, give you the option as to which player you deem fit to put in your FPL team. We are back after this. We are currently based at the Torches Bar in the Kanishi Sports Complex, and before I introduce my guest, I would like to, give you the usual trivia that I give to you, and this week is pretty easy, so I expect everyone to get this correct. And now the question is, which Premier League team has kept the most clean sheets this season? A clue is a team that is probably somewhere near the top, so that's the best that I can do to you. And now it's time to introduce my guest. And how are you doing, Enoch?
I'm doing very well.
Fantasy week for you, how was it?
It was amazing. 91, I think this week was the best week so far.
Best week for you, and what about you? Best week for you too?
It was also a good week as well. 83 points. So
83 points.
Yeah.
Extremely incredible, and I'm sure the viewers will now understand why you guys are the experts to discuss the show. And let's not waste my time and head into our prize rise. And I'm going to be starting with you. And Ross Barkley, what a season he's having. It's not been all good for him since he joined Chelsea, but then a change in managers seems to be a change in fortune for Ross Barkley this season.
Definitely. So Sarri has come in and then he's incorporated Barkley into his team. Barkley has 3 goals from 3 games and he has 3 assists as well, so it's perfect for him.
Perfect for him, and he now becomes the first player aside Frank Lampard to score in 3 consecutive games for Chelsea. And now moving on to another player who can stop scoring, Wilson of Bournemouth. He's seen a price rise.
From the beginning, when we noticed that Kane was injured, we were all thinking, can Wilson fit in the boot? Can Wilson actually do the job? And considering the fact that he has 5 goals and 4 assists, he proved against Fulham that anytime you give him the notch in front, he's going to give you goals. And he gave us 2 goals and 1 assist, and I think that was amazing. That explains his price rise.
Yeah, and another player who had an incredible match against Fulham, Ryan Fraser, he's also seen a price rise.
Yeah, definitely. So Fraser also bagged a pair of assists in their match against Fulham, so he's also seen a price rise as a result of that.
Yeah, and that's for the good side, of course. And whenever people are buying players, they are selling some. And unfortunately, one player who has been at the end of a lot of sales is Romelu Lukaku of Manchester United.
For Lukaku's price to fall, I don't see it as anything new, because Lukaku has been given the chance for over 9 matches, and he has proven that he's not a proven scorer. He can't be the man that United will be looking at. He hasn't scored in like only God knows when, and keeping him in the team, I won't say it's a liability, I'll say it's your own loss.
It's your own loss. And for FPL teams, when a player goes, 7-8 matches, drawing blanks, it can be pretty hurtful, especially when you are considering the price that you brought him in for. And for Lucas Moura, he started the season very well, and unfortunately, it's been a downturn since then. Yeah,
unfortunately, Moura hasn't scored or given any attacking returns in 6 game weeks so far. And unfortunately for him as well, he got a yellow card. So that also has seen the price decrease for him.
Yeah, and for an unfortunate player, I think probably a likely candidate for PFA Player of the Year so far, Eden Hazard, he's seen a surprise price for.
For Hazard, it's not for footballing reasons. You see, for the Fantasy Premier League, it's all about the points, like I always say. And then if a player is injured, he's likely not to play, then he's likely to be sold. And the more you are being sold, the more your price is likely to fall. So there's a high probability we are going to see an increase in price for Hazard during the next game week, because he's going to be fit to play Huddersfield. But for this week, we understand the price fall because of his injury.
Yeah, so that was it for our recap segment, where we looked at some price rises and some price falls. And it's now time to move on to our hot topic. And you know, some things are divine individually, but some things are just heaven when in pairs. You look at a typical example like your peanut butter and your jam, and you see your bat and a ball, you see your bucket and a spade. But of course, we can go on and on and on. But we have to come to FPL terms. And guys, let's start with our pairs, and that's the French connection. You know, we've seen Pogba and Martial lighten up Man U's attack in the past 2 to 3 game weeks.
It looks as if that was what Pogba has actually been looking for, a player who could convert all his passes, a player who could convert all the balls that come to him. And Martial is doing just that. Martial doesn't really shoot much, but anytime he shoots, it's either a goal or it's going to be a great save from the keeper. Martial has 3 goals and 3 assists. And then Pogba, almost all the assists that Pogba has got this season, it's Martial who gives it to him. And you could tell from their match against Everton, when the ball came to him, it looked as if it was nothing. But then Martial scored. They are having this brilliant friendship on and off the pitch. It's a very good pair. You can't afford to keep both of them out of your team. If they're expensive for you, one of them should actually be in the team, and I'll go for Martial anytime, any day.
Yeah, but then it's quite critical to look at this again. And is it just a patch, or you see this partnership going on long term?
It's going to be a partnership that is going to last for a very long time. It looks as if Mourinho is not going to trust Lukaku for a very long time again. So he proves maybe in a smaller match, and Lukaku proves in smaller matches, but in the big matches he
seems to get lost.
He seems to get lost. Now, if Martial is in there, Martial has proven to be a big game player against young boys. He was there. He won the penalty that Lukaku converted. It looks as if that Pogba converted, it looked as if they are working together for the good of Manchester United, and Mourinho wants the best for United, and he's going to keep the 2. Lukaku will be nowhere to be found.
Good times for Manchester United indeed. And now we have to move to Liverpool, and you're a Liverpool fan, and Salah and Mane has not been always good parts for them, especially at the beginning of the season, where we had this little joke of, you know, Mane now taking Salah to his African medicine or voodoo, whatever magic it was, to tie his leg. But I think they showed on the pitch that there is some communication and there is potential in there.
Oh yeah, there certainly is. I mean, we all know how the front three of Liverpool clicked last season. Unfortunately, this season, Firmino seems to be losing out, and the onus has fallen on Salah and Mane to prove that Liverpool is still an out-and-out attacking team. Salah has so far gotten 6 goals, 4 assists, and Mane has only 6 goals so far, no assists. But they seem to be the constant outlet of goals for the Liverpool team. Both have around a 30% ownership, and I think they are going to be very solid. Mane's price of 9.4 currently dovetails with Salah's 12.9 very seamlessly, because Salah is a premium midfielder and Mane is a decently priced one. Both are going to give you really good attacking points, and I'm sure you can bank your hopes on them.
You speak on Mane scoring 4 goals, and out of those 4 goals, Salah assisted those 2. Is it going to be an occurrence, what we saw over the weekend?
Definitely. It's
Salah looking out for Mane?
Exactly. It's going to be. I mean, currently you have Shaqiri, who comes into the team to be able to feed Salah when he's up front and scoring goals. And as we all know, Mane is all about the pace. Once Salah makes the runs and he gives to Mane, Mane is going to bury the balls.
He's going to bury the balls. And this is quite unfamiliar and it's unorthodox that we are talking about pairs. And up next, we are going to talk about defensive partnership. And it is quite weird that we are talking about defensive partnership in FPL. But these 2 guys are just doing so well that I think we just have to address them. And that's Stones and Laporte. You look at the 2 of them, and their birthdays are separated by one day. That's the same number of goals that they've just conceded this season together. So they've been extremely beneficial when it comes to FPL.
Yeah, I would say they are the backbone to City's team this season. Laporte has proven to be the only player who Pep trusts enough to start all his 10 games this season. Stones has played 7 actually, but then when you look at their chances that they've cleared, or chances cleared, they've kept over 7 clean sheets, considered only one goal. Pep trusts these 2 not for the fact that they are good defenders, but for his system. Because Pep's system, he needs players who can actually play from the back, and these 2 pairs are very comfortable on the ball as compared to Otamendi company,
Yeah.
my big-headed friend.
Yeah.
So when you have these two, the good news is that their keeper is good.
Yeah.
So if even the ball goes past them, the keeper is going to save it. If the keeper saves it and they keep a clean sheet, you are likely to get 6 points from each of them, irrespective of the fact that your midfielders will score, your strikers will score. If your defenders are losing out, then you are losing out on points. So this defensive pair is actually working for the good of Manchester City and is going to work for the good of FPL players as well.
Okay. It's going to work for the good of fantasy players, but I think it's pretty crucial. Each week you have your defenders giving you 6 each, and imagine you have these two guys. That's 12 fantasy points, and
exactly.
You look at these guys who've gone 600 minutes without conceding, and it would be very, very good to help move you up in your mini leagues. And up next is Bellerin Aubameyang. Now Aubameyang, he has the best conversion rate in the Premier League history, so you can trust him to get you those goals. But I think it's essential that he attacks from the left-hand side and Bellerin makes those overlapping rights on the right-hand side. So if Bellerin is assisting 9 out of 10 times, it goes to Aubameyang.
Definitely, definitely. I mean, their partnership has been evident so far this season. Aubameyang has 7 goals and has definitely justified his tag as a premium forward. Bellerin, although he's kept only 2 clean sheets and conceded quite a number of goals, has 4 assists already so far this season. So, I mean, it's definitely clear that this partnership is going to go on. And I mean, if Arsenal are to maintain their impressive form from the beginning of the season, against smaller teams, they are just going to bang in the goals.
They are just going to bang in the goals. And another pair that can stop giving FPL points is Fraser and Wilson. And Bournemouth, they've been very key to Bournemouth's season so far.
So Bournemouth are actually 6th on the league table, which is quite impressive.
Yeah.
And this is due to the fact that Fraser has been the most impressive player this season for Bournemouth.
Yeah.
And then he's a very good creative player. When you play him behind the attacks, he assisted Brooks against Fulham. He assisted Wilson in their previous match. And then when you look at these two, they've assisted themselves 4 times, 2 each. And although Fraser didn't score a goal against Fulham, the goals that Wilson scored were actually created by Fraser. Yeah. Fraser is a very good player. Wilson has proven that he's very comfortable in front of goal. Yeah. So if you have this creative player behind him and then your striker is good, then you are likely to get the goals. It's a partnership that is likely to go on. But then again, I would say their match against Manchester United, with the current form of Manchester United, although they are shaky in defense, I can't really speak for Wilson to score, because Wilson has actually missed 3 big chances. Yeah. So Fraser will create. But as to when they will score, I can't speak for that. But when you look at Newcastle, they have a very worst defensive team. So for Newcastle, these two are going to get to at least 11 points and 13 like they did last game week. Looking at that, you can trust them, you can keep them in your team. But against Manchester United, I will advise that you bench Wilson and then you bench the 2 of them and then play them later on against Newcastle.
Okay, so our last partnership is Hazard and Giroud, and you look at the type of player that Hazard is. He likes to play with a target forward, and we've clearly seen that when the 2 of them start together, they make something special happen.
Yeah, so they actually do. It's just unfortunate that Giroud hasn't had the perfect start to the season he would have hoped. This pair is actually a very promising pair and one to look out for in the long run. But I mean, Hazard has really had a dream start to the season so far. He's had 7 goals so far this season. He's a very premium midfielder, and the points are definitely going to come. With Giroud, it's more of let's wait and see, or let's hope and see what he does. But I mean, once Morata is also there, you can always take out Giroud and bring in Morata if the